here to have a bit of a debrief on the game yesterday. Arsenal, of course, surprisingly losing to Bournemouth away from home. Really, really bad result, especially when you saw the results that happened today with Liverpool beating Chelsea to return to the top of the table. And Manchester City, it was 1-1 right until about the 96th minute, a bit like what they did with us. And then they scored in the last second, got a very controversial winner, but it was a winner. And those two teams now go above us in the league. Well, they were above us already, but now, you know what I mean? Liverpool got 4 points on us and Man City got 3 points on us. A really damaging defeat away to Bournemouth, a game that everybody expected Arsenal to win. I'm going to be discussing that game today. You know, I'd like to hear from you guys. Was it a red card, first of all? There really, really controversial incident happened in that Liverpool game, which was very similar to what happened with Saliba. That was not given as a sending off, by the way. In our game, it was a red card. But was it a red card? Did Mikel Arteta get it wrong? I've seen a lot of negativity coming Mikel Arteta's way, coming Arsenal's way. Did he get it wrong with his substitutions, with his tactics? Were we too defensive in the game? How much are we missing Martin Odegaard? You know what I mean? Because we really lacked creativity. Is the title gone? I've heard some people saying that in October, mid-October, it's gone, right? Want to debate all of those things tonight. I want to get as many of you talking as possible. So let me know in the comments how you're feeling about the game. I'm also joined today by, got Cecil G in the building. How you doing, Cecil?
I'm good. I'm done with football. I'm done with it. I'll be real. I've had enough.
Listen, I'm done with football. I was actually at the NFL today at Wembley. Jacksonville Jaguars versus the New England Patriots. It's a great game, by the way. And the Jaguars won, but that was great. I was just trying to take my mind off of what was going on. Also at that game was Marty. Marty, how you doing, bro?
I'm very well, mate. Very well. Thank you very much for getting me on. What an honour and a pleasure. Great to be here with you guys. Yeah, much respect. Thank you so much.
Listen, great to have you on. I think we're going to have Lee Judges stepping up later on as well. But guys, let's jump straight into it. A very, very damaging defeat yesterday away at Bournemouth. Always was going to be a little bit of a tricky game, but let's face it, we were all going there expecting to win. Last year, we absolutely destroyed them 4-0. This time round, a 2-0 loss. A much changed team by Mikel Arteta. No Saka, he was out injured. Martinelli started from the bench. He was carrying a bit of a knock. A flat start by Arsenal. But then the big controversial incident, the incident that really changed the game, really, the red card for William Saliba. Now that you guys have had a chance to look back on it and take it in a bit more, what are your thoughts? Was it a red card? Cecil, you first.
Was it a red card? Well, yeah, but no, it was. But I'm just, the consistency thing is what's annoying me. The reason why I paused is because of what we saw in the game today. I remember after filming, bro, remember Lee was arguing like, let's see how long it takes for them to the same incident to happen and see if they stay consistent with it. And literally, lo and behold, the next day we see it happen again. And it's frustrating because, so just hear me out here, right? The VAR intervened. The yellow, by the way, if it was a yellow card, I don't think anyone complains. I think if it gives a yellow card, I don't think there's not a big uproar after. I think it's fine. I think we move on. But the fact that VAR intervened I remember VAR intervene if it's not clear, if the ref made a clear and obvious mistake, right? So if he's made a clear and obvious mistake, VAR step in. So what happened today was literally the same situation, and VAR didn't step in. It got given a yellow card, and no one seemed to really say anything apart from because of what happened yesterday. They were a bit frustrated, but it's like, how can the VAR intervene for a clear and obvious mistake and then not have the same outcome the following day? I don't understand. It's consistency. It doesn't make any sense. A clear and obvious mistake, but you have the same situation happen the day after, and no one intervenes, and you get two different results. It's ludicrous, Robbie. So it's a red card because he was going to be one-on-one in goal. On goal, I think Saliba. I actually watched it back just before coming on this live, yeah, and I think Yeah, I was watching before I come on, and he takes him down. He takes a few steps before he takes him down. He gets his arm and then clips his foot. So I actually think Saliba, at first I questioned everyone was at the fan. I said, did he do it on purpose? I actually think he got caught cold and he just took him down. He thought it would have been a yellow card, but in the end he got given a red card. Marty?
Right. Look, you make a really good point there, Cecil. And I mean, technically you can give a red card for that. But for me, the 2 points with that red card are, one, the amount of contact is minimal. I mean, if you look at the difference between the Tosin and Jota situation today, Jota got rugby tackled. I mean, that is a clear red card. That's a clear foul, clear and obvious foul for me. Saliba, you see, he brings his arm. It's a very professional way of doing it. But does he clatter him? Does he foul him? For me, clearly, no. The next part of that situation is Ben White. Now, okay,
do you think he gets back in? It's a big distance, I'll be honest.
Okay, I saw it on Sky Sports and they measured like 12 yards and 27 yards. But the ball, where they measured it to, the ball wasn't going in there. The ball was going in a lot further and it had curl and whip onto it. And it's not that clear to see that Ben White doesn't get it. For me, when you look at it from the other angle, when the play's stopped, Ben White is by Raya. And we know how quick these players are. And obviously the player's on the floor, so you can't run it. But maybe instead of blowing the whistle straight away, allowing to see how quickly Ben White gets back in an instance. But for me, Ben White's there. It's not like today's where it was one-on-one with Jota and Tosin, and he brings him down, and there is literally there's no one around.
He rolls him. He spins him.
And he hammers him. That is a clear red card, and it's the level of consistency. So why is that not a red card? But yesterday it's a yellow, and then it goes to VAR. And just quickly on that VAR, sorry, one thing I'll say is, for me, that VAR process was really quick. But I've been at 3 o'clock kickoffs at the Emirates where there was a Martinelli goal for offside. And they took about 3.5, 4 minutes to decide it. And it was a clear goal. It was nowhere near, for me, as, contentious as that. There's a lot of people that are saying, yeah, it was a clear, straight red. I think it's a contentious decision. And yeah, it's definitely up for debate.
Okay. They're both red cards. Are they both?
Hold on a second. Rizwan Khan there with a super chat. He says, I'm still gutted. It's a red card for me, but so is the Chelsea one today. Arteta needs to balance the offensive side because we're too pragmatic. Now, let me have my say on it. I've looked back on it. It's a red.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We have to accept it. It's a red. Even though you're right, Marty, there's minimal contact, but we know what's going to happen if there's in these situations, players going down, right?
Of course.
I do agree with you on the lack of consistency. We see that with the referees 24/7 when it comes to the Premier League. There's no consistency. But I remember I was at the game and there was a guy behind me when it all went down and we was all kicking off. And he goes, if that happens next week at Liverpool, we all want their player sent off, right? And let's be real, that would be true. We would want them sent off. You could argue, and I saw somebody arguing on Sky, and I think it's a very good argument in that, he's so far away from the goal, right? Is it really? Are we guaranteed that he's got a great chance of scoring that goal? You're not. You know what I mean? Ben White probably would have got back in to cover that. He's got 45 yards still to get to goal. But I do feel it's a red. I do see those get given. That, for me, is where Arsenal's major problems start from. I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again today. Right?
I don't know, Rob.
Listen to me. Cecil, listen to me. 10 men in games. You tell me how many times you see teams go down to 10 men, especially that early in a game. I'm not on about when there's 5 minutes to go and you get a red card. You tell me how many teams go down to 10 men. I'd love to know the percentage of teams that go on to win those games. It's very, very small.
No, I think Liverpool done it, didn't they? Against Newcastle, that was not too long ago.
When was that? Yeah, that was last year sometime. That's a rarity. It happens now and again. Most teams that go down to 10 men lose the game. As a matter of fact, as I said yesterday, we've been down to 10 men now 3 times this season. 2 of those times we were in a winning position. We were 1-0 up against Leicester. went down to 10. Sorry, not Leicester, Brighton.
Brighton, yeah.
Went down to 10 men. Had to play our whole half with 10 men.
Didn't lose,
good
though.
Brighton side. Game ends up 1-1. Yeah. The game against City, we're 2-1 up, remember. People forget that. We're in a great position. We go down to 10 men. Got to play a whole half up against City now. 11 against 10. We get done. The game yesterday, again now, we'll play nearly an hour with 10 men. I'm telling you, in this Premier League, right, playing with 10 men, you hardly win games. You may be at a holdout for a draw.
For a draw, though, yeah, but there was no reaction from when we got the red card.
Hold on, Cecil, let me finish. You may the odd time win the game. But the majority of the times is you are now under the cosh. You are now in trouble. The game plan goes out, especially away from home. The game plan goes out the window, right? And then now all of a sudden, you've got to think of two things. We can't overcommit because we're going to get done. And for all these people saying, and I was chatting to Lee about this today, all these people saying, oh, we should have went 3 at the back. We were getting hurt down the flanks with 11 men. That Semenyo was giving us trouble. He's the sort of player that you need to double up on, right? So you can't go gun-ho. You've got 60 minutes of that game left. Yeah, so you can't go gun-ho. You have to now say to yourself, right, we need to balance this out now. We need to try and keep a clean sheet and hold out. And then if that moment comes, we got to take it. And that moment came. Martinelli. Big chance. If he'd have buried that chance, we were probably looking at a different game. Like when we did at City, where everyone was saying, oh, masterclass of defending, If Martinelli buries that chance, all of a sudden is 1-0. We probably don't lose that game. May not have won it. It probably might have ended up a draw, maybe. But we're probably not going to lose that game. But he missed the chance, and then about 2 minutes later, they go down the other end and score. Our big problem so far this season is not keeping 11 men on the pitch. We played 8 games, and 3 of those games, right? 3 of those games we've had with 10 men. We've drawn 2 of them from winning positions, and we lost the other one. Discipline, we got to sort it out. We have to sort out this discipline issue and stop going down to 10 men in games. City today, if they had 10 men today, they probably don't win that game against Wolves because they just about won it with 11. And that's Man City, right?
Yeah, we were struggling with 11. We weren't battering Bournemouth, Rob.
Early in the City was... Cecil, this is the other thing that's annoying me today, right? Not every team starts the game like a train. City was struggling with 11.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
They were 1-0 down until what minute did they score? They were 1-0 down in that game today against Wolves. They were struggling.
Yeah, but we can't guarantee that.
In the game, a game is not. Listen, Cecil,
we can't guarantee with 11 men we win that game anyway.
Cecil, a game is not 35 minutes.
I'm aware.
A game is 90 minutes. You play.
I'm aware. Yes.
Not every game you start brilliantly. Yeah, we didn't start well, right? There was nothing really in the game. I think they had 1 shot. We weren't getting peppered up or nothing like that. We weren't very good. They weren't very good. It was one of them games where the 2 teams are pressing on each other. They're cancelling each other out. But the big turning point is when you go down to 10 men. As I said, City are struggling today with 11. They're losing 1-0. But they've got 11 men now. They can switch up tactics. They can, they can go more attacking. They can bring... When you're down to 10 men, you've got it in the back of your head.
So Robbie, could it be fair to say, like you say, switching up tactics? For me, bringing on Kiwior, and listen, I'm not digging him out, but obviously he gave the ball away for the goal, one of the goals.
It was awful.
Yeah, and for me personally, I think you're playing 3 CDMs. Okay, they're all top players. Mikel Merino has not yet proven himself in this Arsenal side. We missed Odegaard, and I think we would in that 10-man situation. So why not put Trossard in the middle, bring Martinelli on? Not that I'm the Arsenal manager. When you look at Calafiori,
Trossard had a stinker, by the way.
Yeah, or hook Trossard, or hook him and bring Wanyeri on. Roll the dice. Listen, we've got players on the bench that can do stuff. I think, listen, I'm not discrediting Bournemouth. Yes, the game started slow. We all watch Arsenal, and how many games have I watched Arsenal where they've started really slow? Or they've peppered 100 shots, 20 shots in the first half and not scored one of them, or got one goal in, right? That doesn't always, yes, it is taking your chances 100%. But if I'm honest with you personally, I would have liked to have seen Calafiori, Gabriel, and Ben White as a 3, and I would have liked to see Mikel Merino hooked off and a Nwaneri given an opportunity. Why take Sterling off? Because Sterling was the only player for me that was really causing problems. Yeah, down that right-hand side, he was skinning their left back time and time again.
That's with 11 men, Marty.
Yeah,
Marty.
No.
Marty, Robbie, 1 second, Marty. That's with 11 men.
Robbie,
right? The other thing that you may not have noticed it, I'm sure Cecil did at the game, right, is that Sterling wasn't getting back and
defensively he wasn't.
Defensively in that game, even me and my brother were there, and we were like, Sterling is doing all right up front, but he's got to help out in the defense. We know how Saka gets back and helps out.
100%, Robbie. But then sorry to cut you off, but then also with Havertz, for me, throughout the rest of the game, he was very isolated. Now, sometimes I think for them situations, do we know we can score goals? Yeah, we have to believe in that, because we can put a lot of goals past teams, and generally we are very, very good. The best defence in the league, arguably. So for me, that would be a situation of rolling that dice a bit more. And listen, if we concede 1, maybe score 2 or 3. And you're not going to score 2 or 3 if you set out really defensive. Listen, let's be honest. Bournemouth are not Man City. When we went down to 10 men, we played an old school 1-0 to the Arsenal, defensive. Everyone sits back, and it wasn't that.
We weren't good.
Sometimes I think there could have just been, right, let's just go for it. We lost anyway, so we lost 2-0. So I would rather lose 2-0
Marty, it's always easy to say these things afterwards when you sit, right? But what it is, right? You can also look on it and say, if Martinelli scores that goal, which he should have done, he's wide open there, right? He's got to score that. That's my big criticism of Martinelli at the moment. He's got to be more clinical. Yeah. If he buries that chance, all of a sudden, the manager's tactics. That's why you could see Arteta after the game. He was pretty angry about it. He doesn't.
Yeah, he mentioned it.
He's almost like he was digging out Martinelli a bit, right? Yeah. Because and then this other thing about 3 defensive midfielders on the pitch. Who were those 3 defensive midfielders?
Rice, Partey, and Merino. Granted,
since when was Merino a defensive midfielder?
He's played as a CDM. I would say he's more defensive than he is attacking.
He has played in the 6.
I would say he can play in the 6. That's not where we bought him to play. Everybody knows that we bought him to play.
You don't know that.
Let me finish. That left-hand side is a box-to-box midfielder, and also in the last 2 games he played in the international break for Spain, he played in that position. He came on for Pedri.
Doesn't mean he plays there for Arsenal. Declan Rice played in a certain position for his whole career, and Arteta moved him into an 8. You can't guarantee that he came to McLaren came here to play there.
This narrative, he's not a defensive midfielder.
He's played there.
He's played there, but that's not his.
He's a lot of games.
He's played there. He's played there, but his primary position is a box-to-box midfielder. Of course, he's not Martin Odegaard, but I'm saying that in the last 2 games, he played for Spain. Yeah, and I want you guys to go and research it. The last 2 games he played for Spain, he came on for Pedri, right? In the first game, in about the 60th minute, I think it was, he played in that number 10 position. And then in the second game, he played the whole game in that number 10 position. They won both games.
Robbie, for the last 2 games that Merino's played for Arsenal, has he shown that he's a box-to-box midfielder?
Good question.
No, but that's what we bought him in, as a box-to-box
midfielder. But what I'm saying, in the last 2 games, has Merino been a box-to-box midfielder for Arsenal?
No, but that's why. But we bought him in to play that position, so that's why
he played it properly? Has he played it properly?
So a player that you bought in to play that position now, you can't play him in there because he didn't play there.
I'm not saying that. But all I'm saying on current form, just on current form.
So because he came in and played limited minutes in 2 games and he didn't over impress in that, he shouldn't play no more then.
I'm not saying he should. No. I'm not saying
Listen, I'm saying, right, to me, there's a lot of. I just feel that there's a lot of things being said that I just don't understand it.
It's more on the
when
manager.
You go down to 10 men.
It's more on the manager yesterday's performance.
When you go down to 10 men, right? You've got problems, right? Yes, you could roll the dice with 60 minutes to go and get hammered, right? Most managers are going to say to themselves, "We're going to have to be a little bit more defensive and try when those opportunities come to catch them." You maybe could have rolled the dice a little bit earlier than he did before they scored, but as I said, his tactics you could argue were working. Martinelli got the chance, he blew it. Then they go down the other end. They take advantage of the 10 men with a great corner routine that they did where they scored. Robbie, but to just keep rolling out these things about, we were full of defensive midfielders. And listen, I say it how it is, how I feel it is. I think we're making a lot of excuses. The big problem we've got right now is we've got to start keeping 11 men on the bloody pitch, man, because you're not going to win many games in this Premier League. You may draw a lot, but you ain't going to win them if you've only got 10 men.
We put ourselves at a disadvantage. I think Mikel Arteta put us at a disadvantage, though, with I'd say the lineup, the not making the right change at the right time. I think you're saying it's all on this not having 11 players on the pitch. I think at home in the past,
all on. I didn't say all on, but I'm saying it's
yesterday when I asked you, you said
what I'm saying is
you kind of said it was a red card thing.
So listen, I'm saying it completely changes how you approach the game when you go down to 10 men. Completely changes it.
That it does change. Listen, what Ahmed is, this is what I'm trying to get at. Before the red card, remember, Rob, we've gone to away games this season and last season. We've played completely different from the first. You keep saying it's only 30 minutes, but every time we've gone away, we've seen a different Arsenal. When we was there at Bournemouth, you didn't see the same Arsenal you've been seeing at all these away performances in that first 30 minutes. Even after it was lethargic from the beginning, from the start. Things didn't seem right. I don't know if that's because
you're right.
Really changed. 100%. So
I said it's a poor performance.
Right. I can't guarantee.
We weren't playing well, right? Up until when that red card came, but nor were they. Nobody was doing anything really in the game. The game was kind of flat. We were slow. We weren't our usual selves. Of course. But where the game is 0-0 at that time, where the game completely turns on its head is when Saliba gets sent off.
Also, the reaction from Arsenal was bad.
All of a sudden, you're at the game, Cecil. That gives their fans a lift. That gives them a lift. They know that Arsenal are down to 10 men. They now, all of a sudden, see that they got a big chance to do something in this game.
This ain't Anfield, though. There's no lift. The crowd weren't going crazy. Like,
listen,
there was no reaction from Arsenal.
Bournemouth for not months. Yeah, no, Chelsea went there. They won in the last minute. If you ain't got 11 men on the pitch, you're going to be in trouble even against a team like Bournemouth.
So if we had 11 men on the pitch, we'd 100% win that game to you.
Listen, of course not. You can't say 100%, but we've got a great chance of winning the game. You can deploy. You could number one. You could have kept Sterling on. Yeah,
cool.
Sterling wouldn't have come off, would he? You guys all said he was playing well.
I said defensively, though, they were coming down his side quite a lot because he wasn't tracking back.
So, attacking wise, you said he was playing well, right? Sterling wouldn't have come off if we didn't go down to 10 men, would he? He wouldn't have come off.
I think as well, Rob, I understand the point, 10 v 11. Obviously, there's an extra man. It's like 91%. You know, I understand all that. But when you look at the level of caliber of players that we have compared to Bournemouth, now, if you're buying in players for your 50, 60, 100, 10 millions, that to me will show a level of what that player's at and the ability of those players. Now, if I'm honest with you, look, it was a bad day at the office, right? It's nothing to, I remember in 2001, 2002, when we won the league, we got beaten 4-1 or 4-2 by Charlton at home at Highbury, and championship winning sides like the Man City sides that have won it for the last 4 seasons, they do lose games. And that was a game that we lost. If this then happens again consistently and we keep losing games, then it is worrying. Yes, especially
worrying, Marty, if we keep losing
players on the pitch, 100%. But then also, Robbie, one thing, then 10 players on the pitch, this does have to be looked at, and it does. How today is the Jota and the tossing situation in a way then any different at all? I don't even think it went to VAR. So why did Chelsea lost the game, but why is that player not? It's calling for a level of consistency, because if you get consistency with referees, then you don't have these debates, you don't have these issues. Even for example, Man City's goal today. There's that last minute winner. There's it could be contempt because Silva's in an offside position. Is he interfering with the goalkeeper? Chris Kavanagh, who is come on, we all know he's a Mancunian, and he shouldn't even be refereeing, those games. The only way for me that you eliminate this situation is you bring in refs from abroad. Yeah, you bring in refs from abroad. And this Premier League, this is a multi-billion-pound industry. Why are there not neutral refs refereeing the Premier League? I do not. There's no way that they cannot afford to employ, international referees, bring them over to the Premier League, pay them good money, and offer them that. And that, for me, eliminates a lot of this bias that we're talking about, all of this, and there are some top quality referees out there in the world.
I'm disappointed in you, Robbie, man.
Okay, let me listen, guys. I've got a load of super chats. Let me get through some of them, and then I've got Curtis Shaw ready to come on as well.
Oh, I watched his stream.
Curtis is in the building. Let me go. So Ahmad Ali says you could tell when it was 11 versus 11 that we weren't on it yesterday. Slow, lethargic, and abject performance. Too many individual disaster classes. I agree with that as well. I mean, some of the performances by players that have actually been playing well for Arsenal Trossard had an absolute nightmare yesterday. So did Raya, I thought, as well.
Yeah.
Kusta says the reality is our best players are not on the pitch. No Saka, no Odegaard, no Timber. Apart from the discipline, we have to keep our squad fit. Long way to go. Big up to all of you. Man City 5p loading says Robbie is censoring his own employees. True Gunners TV says Arteta showed his naivety. He didn't need to change Partey, who's played at right back before for us. Under this manager, are people forgetting that? Well, I don't understand.
I don't get that either.
What that had to do with yesterday.
So he's
Jordan Evans says, Robbie, you're not... Okay. Says Robbie, Jordan Evans says, Robbie, you're not completely wrong. However, we are at a place where 10 men... We're at a place where 10 men or not, we need port. I was a bit mixed up there. These if City comparisons are silly, they win the title. So I'm a little bit confused by that, but hopefully I've delivered it across there. Abdullah says Cancelo got sent off 2 years ago. Haaland scored a last-minute winner off the bench. We competed with Barca with 10 men. Did we win? We need to do better with 10 men. You can compete with 10 men. You don't win many games with 10 men. You don't. Simple as that. You may win the odd one.
Compete with City, best team in the land, and we had chances. I know we didn't. We got a draw.
Listen, you don't win many games with 10 men. City was struggling today with 11. Abdullah says
we struggled at home recently. Go on, Karen. Sorry. We've struggled at home recently as well. Let's not forget. I know we won games.
We won those games. Other teams are allowed to struggle. We can't. We got to wipe every team out.
But we won those games. 11 men wins the game.
No, but I'm saying every game this season that we've dropped points in, we've been down to 10 men. Just go and have a look at that.
No,
Abdullah says Mikel got it wrong. He ordered too many positions. Leo has been our number 10. Keep the same back four and mid three, and put Sterling and Jesus as light for light wingers. Panman says, Cecil, stay on Robbie, my guy. Wrong and strong.
That's what he's doing. Wait, who, me? Or wait, who's he? Yes.
I think you say maybe I'm wrong, but that's my opinion, bro. I'm giving my opinion. I respect everybody else's opinion. That's just mine.
All right.
Rizwan again says, Robbie, Arsenal did not create the chance Martinelli missed. Arsenal did not create anything. The tactics did not work. Arteta picked the wrong team. It's not a matter of creating. It's a matter of they put the pressure on, and that, it caused a mistake, which we didn't seize upon. They seized upon our mistakes. They seized upon our mistakes, Cecil. Trossard's mistake. They seized upon it. We panicked. Right, red card. Right.
Correct.
The mistake by
Kivior messed up, and
Kivior, they get a penalty. What did we do when
we didn't create?
When the mistake fell to, when they made their mistake, when Kepa makes the error, what do we do?
We didn't take it
straight at the goalkeeper.
But we also didn't create.
Ethiopian Gunner says, when will the Arteta experiment end? What kind of calculations do you play with three defensive midfielders at the same time? Just said, Marino has played in the number 10 position in his last 2 games for Spain. It's not a foreign position to him. Sud says, unfortunately, this has to sit on Arteta. He's the one who picks the team, and the discipline starts from him. and the tactical mid-game decisions. Well, the indiscipline came from a player that has been really reliable for us. You know what I mean? After I find it hard to really be on him, but it was Saliba's fault. I'm sorry.
Just quickly on that, Robbie. Just quickly on that, if you talk about the international stuff, did you see the penalty that Saliba gave away for France?
Yeah, he did give away. Yeah, he did.
And that, do you know what? And I'll be honest with you, for all of last season and a lot of this season, Saliba has been an absolutely world-class player. That's why Real Madrid are talking about. That's why there are all these talks. But in the last few games, I have seen him. This is the first time I've seen him miscontrol a few balls, then go under his feet, and a few bits like that. And obviously,
a human being, he can make mistakes.
100%.
Yeah, Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk got sent off for virtually the same thing for the Dutch.
Yeah, that's the international team. Yeah, correct.
In the international break, did you see that? And also, I'd like you to tell me what the score was in that game when they went down to 10 men, the Dutch. True Gunners TV says, and he could have moved right back rather than bring it on Kivior. And AK says, Liverpool making you top 4 contenders next Sunday. Be humble. Well, listen, I'd relax a bit if I was you, bro.
Robbie, did the Dutch lose the game against? No,
I said, did they win that game when they went down to 10 men?
They didn't lose.
Well, yeah, they did lose the game. Yeah, they lost it. No, we got Curtis in the building.
3-1-1.
Hey, let me tell you something, yeah. You know P. Diddy, yeah? He should hire Robbie as his lawyer because he'll be not guilty. I'm telling you now, bro. If I ever get in trouble, Rob, I'm calling you.
He's on a mad one.
You know what it is with me, Curtis. You know what it is with me, yeah.
Go on.
I like to be real with it. I think there's been an absolute overreaction to this defeat. I'm hurt as everybody about that defeat yesterday. You know what I mean? We had to drive there and drive back.
Yeah,
it's a long drive back when you've lost that game. The performance was poor, loads of individual errors, loads of mistakes from Arsenal. But at the end of the day, what changed the game, what turned it the biggest was the 10 men. And I'm saying this is the 3rd time now out of 8 games that this team have gone down to 10 men this season. Whether you want to blame referees or not, right? We've gone down to 10 men. We have not won one of those games. We've got to start keeping 11 men on the pitch.
What I'll say, Robert, and big up everyone locked in as well. Big up you, man, Marty. Hey, Cecil, you done know already, bro.
Thank you.
But listen, let me tell you something, Rob. 10 men is the fact. I hear you on that 10 men call. That's a problem. But this is our own problem. Saliba, by the way, yesterday, that's a red card, right?
That's what I said. It's a red.
We all agree that.
Ben White's going to recover and maybe letter of the law, whatever. It's a red card.
Under the law, it's a red.
It's our own fault. So we've had 18 red cards since Arteta's been Arsenal manager. 5 more than any other team in the Premier League.
But we didn't have none last season, didn't we? We didn't have... No, I think we had 1, wasn't it? Was it Tomiyasu one?
Tomiyasu, and 3 this season in 8 games.
3 in 8.
3 in 8. So we have to look at ourselves, first of all, and say, how come we're getting red cards all the time? But I'm going to take it back slightly before we get back to where we are now.
Don't do transfer window talk. I don't.
No, I'm doing it.
Fuck yeah.
Because I heard 7s, 8s out of 10 in the summer. So if you've just finished on 89 points and you're telling me it's a 7, 8 out of 10 window, then I expect a squad to look even better than the previous season. But I'm looking at this squad right now, and I don't see balance. Odegaard's out injured. That will affect any team. No problem. You sold Smith Rowe, right? And Smith Rowe's playing well, by the way. You can't
do 90 though, Curtis. He can't do 90. You
got rid of Fabio. Yeah, that's fair. You got rid of Fabio. Oh, cool. I don't think he was at the level anyway.
Yep.
You're doing documentaries about Hale End. Documentaries. The famous Hale End. You got Waneri there. This guy can't get a kick. You're bringing him on at 2-0 down. What? You know that old one? Go and win me the game, son. Nah, I can't, mate. It's too late. You should have brought me on when there was something to play for. So Waneri's been pushed to the side, and we're seeing young players trickle out the door. Chido Obi, all these guys going to other clubs. You then find a solution to Odegaard in Trossard. Trossard has filled that space. Trossard against PSG was unbelievable. That was our best performance of the season. Trossard far better in the 10 role than on the left. Doesn't have the pace on the left.
Correct.
No.
So I'm turning up yesterday. I'm like, looking at the team lineup. Trossard's on the bench. Oh, you force Marino in.
Trossard on the left.
Trossard on the left, sorry. But Marino attacking midfield. Okay, he's played there for Spain, but Spain's irrelevant. We're looking Arsenal Premier League. You ain't even started a game for Arsenal yet, and you're starting in the 10.
Irrelevant.
You're looking
they won the Euros, Curtis, yeah? They won the Euros.
He wasn't even starting for Spain in the Euros, man. No, he weren't starting for Spain in the Euros. But listen, good player. He come on as a sub, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm Marino, by the way, yesterday. I don't want to write him off, but he had a shocker.
Well, you guys are writing him off already.
No, Curtis, in your fan cam, you're cussing him differently.
Listen, emotion, you know.
He didn't have a good game. Listen, I'm not going to put, because I'm with you, Curtis. I'm with you on what you're saying there, Marino. But can't write him off yet. But playing in the, I don't know. It's just like that midfield.
Listen, now, Curtis. Let me just come back there, right? Let me just come back. So let me just give a little context to the team selection, because again, this is where I don't know. But you have to be fair in what the things that you say. Yeah. First of all, the Hale End thing. We've seen a lot of Hale End players playing this year. Lewis Skelly, Wanyeri. We've seen these guys playing. We see Lewis Skelly come on. We see Lewis Skelly come on at Man City. Skelly in front of other players. So that's one thing. But let me just say, right, that team yesterday, it was a lot different. But obviously, let's put a bit of context on it. There's no Saka. There's no Martinelli. We're going into that game. Both of those players are coming into that game. We've been told here. Obviously, Saka was out injured, didn't even make the squad. Martinelli was carrying a knock. He didn't play. He came off it for Brazil, didn't play in the second game for Brazil. Was very doubtful to make yesterday's game. So now they've got to put someone on the left. They've got to put someone on the right, yeah? They've gone for playing Sterling on the right, which is where, he's played a lot of Chelsea. And on the left, Trossard has played for us on the left a lot of times, right? And Trossard has done brilliantly for us on the left, right? And then Marino, as I said, is not foreign to playing in that number 10 position. Played the last 2 games for Spain in that position. So when you look at it in that context, when you look at that in that context, Curtis, right? You can see why he did that. It didn't work. You're right, it didn't work. But we've seen Trossard play on the left and be outstanding. But it didn't work yesterday. I hear you on that, but that is why he went with that lineup, I think, at the start.
Just the Hale End thing, because I'm backing you in. I think Robbie's talking a bit madness when it comes to the whole 10-man thing. But when it comes to the window, a lot of the Hale End boys, I think Ethan Wanyeri, I want to see more of him. But also, brother, like I know you and Eddie and Kate, like the man that we come through the academy, Eddie and Kate, like you wouldn't be wanting them man to be playing.
No, well, he wanted him gone.
Yeah,
I was glad when he left.
Even now you're coming and talking about Hale End.
What's he doing at Palace?
Right? But you know what? You're jumping on here now talking about Hale End.
Yeah, no, because one ear is different though, bro. Separate them. You know what I mean? Separate them.
You got to be consistent. I hear it. They will have their moments. Because listen, he's definitely ready. But yeah, man, I have to just jump in on that one. Marty, if there's something you want to say, because I feel like we've also got someone else in the back as well. And then Curtis, go on. I might drop out for the next guest.
For me personally, I think you're spot on there. Wanyeri, you've got to give the guy a chance. You've got to give the boy a chance, because every time he has played, he has come on and done something different. And that, when you watch that second half, or even the last half of that first half, there was no link-up play whatsoever. There was absolutely nothing. Like there was Havertz was, as I've said, Havertz was up top on his own, and we didn't look like creating it. Yes, granted, Martinelli when he took the chance, but you're not going to take every single chance you get. Was it a good? Personally, it was a decent save by Kepa as well. Like, don't forget that. Like, Kepa was in a good position. Top goalkeepers. No.
Got to score that.
Got to score that, man.
He's
taking it first time, but when you listen, he's had a lot of those opportunities where it's like it's a game-changing opportunity.
Marty, down to 10 men, tight game.
Got to score.
You may only get 1 or 2 chances right before the game done, because you're down to 10 men. You have to bury that chance. He's got the ball. When that ball's passed to him, nobody's around him. He can pick his spot. A player of his quality has to score that.
Yeah, yeah, I do get that, and some of the finishing, we've seen it in other games where we've had 20 chances and we haven't put any of them away. The shots on target we've had have been unbelievable. For me, yesterday we had nowhere near the amount of shots on target. I don't think we had a shot on target in the first half. So
Yeah,
if
you're right.
100% of the shots you don't take, you ain't going to score. It's as simple as that. So what I would have liked to have seen is having a go, rolling the dice a little bit more, putting, instead of, personally, I would have taken Mourinho off. Nothing against him. I think he is a top player. I think he fits into the Arsenal side, the squad 100%. I really do. I just think in that situation where Arteta had the chance to make that change, I just think Marino was the guy to take off and throw Wanyeri on. Go on, mate, have your chance. And if you change and win this game, this is going to change your career, mate. And you are going to go down in Arsenal folklore as the guy that come on after 10 men, and and it's going to change things. And that, I think, for me, that was the change to make. And we've seen it. He is a player. He busts his gut. He links up between midfield and and Havertz. He's all over the place. He's a young, energetic player. And what I personally see of him is you can play him. I'm not saying he's anywhere near as good as Saka or anything, but for me, he's a player that you can play in Saka's position, Martinelli's position, or potentially in that 10, in that attacking midfielder. I don't see why, like what Curtis said, giving a young lad like that an opportunity when the backs are against the wall, give him plenty of game time. You've got 70 minutes. Go on, son. That's when you say, go on, son. You go and do what you do. Go and play ball.
I'm going to go because I've got to drop out and I'll let Lee judges come in. Before I go, one thing, James Hill he's a young centre-back that got me the ticket yesterday. He plays for Bournemouth. He is a young player, 23, defender, centre-back. Because Bournemouth made a new signing of a defender, paid the money for him, he was told he wasn't in the squad because they have to play the player that they spent the money on. I still feel like slightly, Ethan Wanyeri, Hairlem boy, I think Arteta's going, listen, this is the guy I paid money for. We've got to start him instead of you. Sorry, that's how it is. But I think it was a wrong decision. It's a lot on Arteta for me. But anyway, I'm going to go. Right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Cecil, for coming on. Nice to see you. We're going to get, we got Lee Judges in the building. We're going to get him on. Also, I want to ask everybody, this is a super chat. Actually, let me do a couple of these super chats and then I'm going to ask you guys to answer one of these as well. Ross says, Big C, leave the chair alone. Therapy at 2 p.m. Big up to Debira with a super chat. Big up also to Debira again, who says, what was the point in loaning Fabio Vieira if we don't trust Wanyeri? If either you either trust him or you don't. The manager made a decision to go with Mourinho. That's what it was. Maybe on Tuesday he'll go with Wanyeri. Let's see. Do you? That's the question I want to ask. You don't trust Mourinho then? I'm just saying that. Kusa says, how many other big clubs rely on their academy players? I really can't think of one, but we're giving the academy players a little go this thing. And then this question, what I'd like to ask everybody, let's start off with you, Lee. This one's coming from Kusta. He says, honest question, does our fan base overreact? We're still in a great position to win. What would you say to that, Lee? Do we overreact?
Listen, it's one game.
Just before you answer it, we've lost. That's our first defeat of the season. Yeah, that's the first defeat on the road in 2024 for Arsenal. But yet, still, the way I heard some people talking, it's almost like the manager, if he loses another game, he's gone or something. The way people have been losing it. Do we overreact?
Yeah, a little bit. But only on the performance, you know what I mean? Like, it was a shocking performance. Listen, we've lost a game. We lost at Newcastle last year. We lost at Aston Villa last year. I don't see us going mad about that. There's a way to lose, guys, isn't there? No one likes losing, but it's how you go down and how you lose. And that performance yesterday wasn't acceptable. It wasn't acceptable from the manager. It wasn't acceptable from the players. Everybody was accountable for that yesterday. And, even so, as you said yesterday, Robbie, like, if Martinelli puts that chance in, it's all different. It's fine margins. We're all going to be saying we're very, very happy. Listen, I was very, very happy that we beat Southampton. But I wasn't happy with the performance. And by the way, not everybody scores at Bournemouth. You know what I mean? It's not an easy thing to do. Let me tell you that now. Like, you know what I mean? There's only a few of us can put it in the back of the net, especially yesterday. So,
hey, yeah. By the way, yeah, Curtis, right? I've got a video, right, that I will reveal. We've been revealing an Invincible podcast, right, of Lee Judges and Julian doing the crossbar challenge on the pitch at halftime at Bournemouth, and both of them blew it. No. And when they walked back, right, when they were walking back past the fans, the Arsenal fans, to take back their seats after their horrendous crossbar challenges, the Arsenal fans started singing to both Lee and Julian, "You let the Arsenal down, you let the Arsenal down."
I'm disappointed in you, Lee. You can play football, man.
Listen. I'm not. Look, I just wanted to bang it in the back of the net. That's all I'm saying. Like, so I've done it.
You're a bad liar, man.
but you know, at the end of it, listen. Of course we overreacted over a little bit. I am so disappointed yesterday. Like, I don't know about you. I didn't get a bed till I spoke to Robbie. I didn't get a bed till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was a bad defeat.
Getting the ump about it was the nature of it all. Now people will turn around and go, you know, I'll use the sending off as a this and that. Like, we were shocking up until that sending off 30 minutes, and the reason we was. Is because of the way the manager had set up the team. You know, I've heard people turn around and say Marino played for Spain in that 10 position. Like, you know,
I said that. It was just fact.
I'd like to know how they got on in that game. They won. Surely did they win it?
They won. They beat.
Was they or somebody?
Serbia,
they beat Serbia 3-0. Who were giving us trouble?
Well, you know, I can't. They must have had some decent players up top and then around him then, because yesterday I don't think.
We got some decent players up top and in and around as well, didn't we?
Not yesterday, because I tell you what, they didn't know what they was doing.
No, not yesterday. They were dreadful.
They did not know what they was doing. Like, you know, sometimes you need a player. Like I tell you a couple of instances. I've watched the highlights of it. I can't watch the whole game through. Declan Rice picked the ball up. He went 30, 40 yards driving into their half, into the final third. In the end, he's looking for that player in the hole to the little link-up player. It's not there. He has to get the ball, come it back. Within 10 seconds, it was back to our centre halves, you know, because we didn't have that link play, that one that was going to gel it all together. I see Marino get the ball 3 or 4 times, and he's holding on to it. He's having to go across the side because he hasn't got the little 1-2, the little triangle. Where were our triangles in that game? You know, there wasn't the point. So you can play it to the triangle, get it around the corner and come back there. We didn't have that link-up player, and it's not an easy player to have. And when you look at it, who has done more for Arsenal over the where was 10 minutes to go at Tottenham when we're 1-0 up? Where was Marino? Who come on in that game? Where was Marino when we played Bolton?
Yeah, but he's just coming in, Lee. I don't know if you.
I get that. Lee, hold on. Ranieri has played. He's proved himself. Why has he got shout in place of Ranieri? Ask me that question.
Lee, a little bit of context, yeah? The guy would have probably been brought in, you know, we all know, to sort of play that sort of Granit Xhaka role thing, right? Let's not forget, yeah, he was injured at the start of the season, yeah? Like he had fractured his shoulder.
100%.
Right. And as I said, I was looking at some stats earlier, right? This is the last 50 matches Marino's played, yeah? He's played 34 of them as a central midfielder, 13 of them as attacking midfielder, only 3 as a DM. He's not a DM. When everyone's saying this, we had 3 DMs on the pitch. We didn't have 3 DMs on the pitch. Another stat, what I was talking about when it comes to the 10 men thing, right? Teams who've lost a player because of a red card have lost on average of 59%, lose on average 59% of the times. Only 23% of games are won when you've got 10 men. 18% of them are drawn. That is why managers, when they go down to 10 men, tend to go a bit defensive, because they're trying to make sure they don't lose the game. The first thing Laurie, my brother, of course, we was at the game together. First thing Laurie said to me when Saliba got sent off was, would you take a draw now? And I said to him, I said, listen, Not really, because we desperately need to win this, because I knew, obviously this is a must, Bournemouth, we need to win this game. But really and truly, you figure to yourself, it's a disaster when you go down to 10 men, especially that early. If there was like 10 minutes to go or something, but when you go down to 10 men that early, it's a disaster. So game plans go out the window, tactics have to change. I mean, come on, both of you, Lee and you, Curtis, you both have played the game to a very good level, especially you, Curtis, yeah? You know when it goes down to 10 men, the game changes up.
Listen, it's difficult, but these guys practice this all the time. And you look at the Brighton game, we went down to 10 men. Yeah, we conceded, but we was in that game. We had 2 big chances in that game. Man City, we conceded in the last minute. Bournemouth pulled us apart yesterday.
The Brighton game, sorry, Curtis, just to jump in, Curtis, yeah?
Go on.
The Brighton game, we were winning 1-0.
Yeah, I know.
We
And City, we was winning 2-1.
And what was the score in the end?
Against Brighton, yeah, we drew. We conceded. But what I'm saying, if you listen, we only conceded 1 goal against Brighton with 10 men, and we had 2 big chances in that game. Against Man City, we conceded in the last minute. Bournemouth are nowhere near the level of those 2 teams, and they pulled us apart. We also looked like we had no outlet whatsoever yesterday.
Yeah,
when you
right.
go down to 10 men, you've got to have somebody with pace in that front line who can hit them on the counter-attack. That's your only chance.
Do you think pushing forward, Kurt, like what happened yesterday was that Bournemouth went right to the halfway line and even beyond. They squeezed the play up because they knew that Havertz can't get in behind. And to be honest, when Martinelli come on, it livened us up a little bit, like, you know what I mean? And we had the chance. But everything was wrong about yesterday, Robbie. You can say about...
No, listen, team
selection was wrong.
Without doubt...
You admit the team selection was wrong or not?
Without doubt, it was a terrible performance.
Are you going to admit the team selection was right or wrong? Are you going to admit that it was wrong?
But the team selection?
Yeah.
I think the team selection, yeah, it didn't work out. But you know what? I didn't see loads of people. No, you know what it is, right? You know what it is? Again, it's revisionism, yeah? Because before the game, nobody was...
Did they pay on the 1st of the month or the 30th of the month?
I know, yeah. Listen, you know what, right? Because it's my opinion. If people want to say, I don't see people, why are you the fashionable thing to do is to, go with
yes and no answer.
That's for me, the team selection, yeah, you know what? I'll say it was wrong because it didn't work, right?
Yes.
But Lee, before the game, I was with you and you saw the team and you said it's all right. You didn't.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And this is my problem, right? Huh?
Don't you dare put. I never said
what did you
that midfield? I said it.
What did you complain about before the game on the team selection then?
Huh?
What did you complain about with the team? I was in the car with you.
I tell you what, like,
you said I'm happy with that.
You should have been a cowboy in the cowboy day because you always shoot people down, right? I turned around and said, right, I wasn't happy with that selection, right? At the end of the day,
to who?
And you went, yeah, but it's good enough to beat Bournemouth. It's good enough, and I went.
When did you say that?
Enough to beat Bournemouth.
When did you say that?
That's exactly what I said.
What weren't you happy with then? Be honest.
I wasn't happy with the 3 in midfield. I said that on that. I said, like, and I've said it all the time. I said I'll have put Jesus out wide right and Sterling wide left. I've said it all on. I said it on the Invincibles. I said it on that. There was no way I wanted that 3 in midfield. But he went with it. Do you know why? He might as well got a white pinny on and a big white hat because he was a caterer. That's what he was for this game. He catered.
Only really that what you would really have changed in the game is you'd had Jesus in and Trossard in the number 10.
Yes.
That would have been your change.
And Marino,
so one player.
And Marino not out like. And I know we're talking about
one player.
Yeah, I would have put Wanyeri in front of Marino in that position. It would, you know what I mean.
That's not what you just said. You said you would have had. So you'd have had Trossard in the 10.
Yes, Trossard.
And you would have had. You'd have played Jesus.
Yes.
Okay.
Robbie, can I just ask you a quick question?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You won't get
right. So you know that chance. You know the chance that you were talking about that Martinelli.
Yeah.
He didn't miss. He got it on target. Do you think that's easier to take than the chance that Marino had in the first half?
Oh, good question, Martin.
Remember Marino's.
What
was Marino's chance again?
Mate, he was in front of goal.
No.
He's literally in front of goal and he's
Put it
dragged it
wide
wide.
of the
It did get a slight deflection.
That come off a player, didn't it? Martinelli's chance. Yo. Listen, as a striker, as a forward player.
No. As a number 10,
his quality.
as you're saying, as a number 10, as an attacking player, as you say.
Yeah, I think but like you said, it hit a deflection, didn't it? So I don't know. But to be honest, Marty, I have to be honest. That was at the other end. I have to be honest. Lee will vouch for me on that.
Yeah.
Right, so it's hard for me to completely tell that. The one with the Martinelli one, because we're right by it.
Yeah, of course.
He's in the box. He can choose his spot.
What do you guys think? Lee, Curtis, what do you guys think on that? You must have seen it on TV. You must have seen the replays of it.
I saw it near post. Yeah, I mean, I think it did get a slight deflection because Marino's going mad, isn't he? Saying it should have been a corner.
It should have been a corner. It should have been a corner.
Ref gave a goal.
But do you think that is an easier? Look, let's have it right. He wasn't far out from goal. There might have been a player by him, but for me, when I watched that, I'm like, the goal is in front. The goal is gaping. It's open. It's waiting for that ball to nestle in the back of the net. Personally, that's how I saw it. What do you guys think?
I think because Martinelli's a natural, you would like to think a natural finisher. He's got time. He's got no defender in front of him. Both sides of the goalkeeper. He could have gone near post or far post.
Listen, I've seen Odegaard miss
Martinelli one. Terrible,
guys.
No, listen, and listen, and I'm not going to overhammer him because listen, people miss chances.
He's going to bring it. Look at this dirty dog. I tell you what, like,
no. What I'm saying is, listen. I'm not going to overhammer any of the players, right? Because at the end of the day, it's our first defeat of the season, but. I'm not gonna overhammer him, but a player of his quality, I think he should score that goal.
Yeah, I just think personally, yesterday was a bad day at the office. Right, no one really turned up, and sometimes you can't go every season unbeaten, and it is what it is. And you've just got, you're going to lose, and that was just a shot game that we lost. They turn up, and hopefully, for me, moving forward, they look at the situations. Definitely the discipline situation. Yeah, 3 red cards, but is there also something further behind that with referees? We don't know. That's just another story. But yeah, discipline. That is a big thing. The Declan Rice and the Trossard situation, 100%. Is it just a bad day at the office? Do we just move on, go and smash Shakhtar on Tuesday night, and then move on from there?
And the other thing that I've got to say, like, I mean, and realistically, whether you agree with not putting Mourinho in there or not, right? Arsenal should still not produce a performance like that whether he's in there or not. That has got to be said, like, you know what I mean? Like,
he's poor.
And I'm not blaming Mourinho for it. It was poor. Like, these are professional footballers, and Mikel Arteta turned around and he lied when he said this. He went, it took us 15 minutes. We wouldn't know what we was doing. Come on. That is really having a go.
He said that as well against City, didn't he? As well?
Yeah, but he shouldn't be like. And by the way, it was 30 minutes, not 15. But they should know what they're doing. Arsenal Football Club, and I think he's a fantastic coach, by the way. Like, and listen, we're all criticising him and all that. So it doesn't mean to say we want him out or whatever like that. We're just criticising him. At the end of the day, he's a fantastic coach. But you have got to have scenarios when you go down to 10 men. Like the scenario that he used for the game against City was spot on, right? The scenario when we went down to 10 men against Brighton and yesterday, he hasn't got right. He hasn't worked out a way of doing them at the moment. It's easier to defend, but you've somewhere along the line. What happens if you're a goal down? You got to get to 10 men. I remember going to Anfield 0-0 and getting Van Bronckhorst got sent off. We ended up winning the game 2-1 because we still had attacking players in areas and we were still could hurt a team on the break. We didn't look like hurting them on the break like yesterday because we didn't have the players or the personnel to do it. So he's got to find solutions in that, Robbie. He's got to find solutions. Yeah. And he didn't.
And you know what, Lee? My thing is this, like, if you are a brilliant manager, you do have to find solutions. Now, you look at Pep, for example, Rodri's out. He missed the first game of the season against Chelsea. They still win. We've lost Odegaard. And we found a solution in Trossard, and you've come away from it because you're experimenting. Like the start of last season, when he was playing Partey at right back and Gabriel's on the bench, and you're trying to do different things, and you're costing us points. And then now Saka's come out, Sterling's come in, and you've brought him off after 35 minutes, and you've taken away your only pacey outlet that was on the pitch. So for me, it's like, yeah, when everything's sunny at the Emirates and we're battering teams and we got 70% possession, we're great. We look like a dream, but we cost ourselves these games last season against teams like Fulham. And when you look at Man City only lost 3 games last season. One was at Wolves where they battered them, and I think it was an own goal. The other was Villa, where they played unbelievable Villa that day. And the other one was Arsenal, where Martinelli with the deflected goal. So Man City don't tend to drop points in games like that against teams like Bournemouth. So for me, I thought yesterday was, and the warning signs have been there for yesterday. You know, I think there's only a few games this season where I think we've been really good for the majority of the game. You know, Leicester, 2-0 up, back to 2-2, 1-0 down against Southampton. Villa, Ollie Watkins misses 2 sitters. You know, there's been a lot of warning signs. So it's not over with, but this is the 3rd season in a row now. And I think, you know, seeing stories of Madrid being linked with Saliba and things like that, you have that worry in the back of your mind that this process falls apart if 1 or 2 of these boys decide to leave.
Are we those, Curtis, right? Are we overreacting? I've seen some craziness today, right?
I've been involved in the craziness, by the way, in the last 20 months. You know what I mean? I was in the middle of that craziness. Do you know what? They deleted my TikTok account yesterday.
Serious?
Yeah, deleted, man. I got some long email, TikTok account gone, man. So,
Why?
crazy reactions. But, hey, it is what it is. But just in terms of the overreacting, listen, and again, some people will say it's one game, you know, dust yourself down, go and beat Shakhtar. And I get that. That's all we can do as a team and as a fan base. But there's a lot of history with Arsenal. There's a lot of PTSD with the fan base. It's been 20 years since the title. There's no Champions League ever. We're now nearly 5 years without even one piece of silverware. And to me, at the moment, we're in the middle of a 3-year spell where it's 3 title challenges in a row. So I'm looking at it going, even since Pep's been in this country, Chelsea have won a Champions League and a Premier League since Pep's been here. Because people say when Pep's here, you can't win anything. But Chelsea have won a Premier League and a Champions League. Liverpool have won a Premier League and a Champions League and an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup. Man City have won 4 titles in a row. We're in the middle of a period now where we're saying, this is a strong moment for us. You know, we've got a good team, good manager, things are going well. But the silverware is not there to back up what we're doing. And if in 5 or 10 years' time, you look back on this period and you go, well, 1 FA Cup in that spell, you're not going to look back on this spell as a moment of glory and success for Arsenal. You're going to go, we flattered to deceive. We didn't quite get there. And it fell apart when Saliba went to Madrid, like Van Persie left, or like Fabregas. So I just think we've got to strike while the iron's hot. You know what I mean? And that means winning silverware, man. So are we overreacting? You know, I'll say no for myself, but maybe we are a little bit. And TikTok, come on, just give me my account back, man. You know, wasn't that bad.
Let me do a couple of super chats here. Ahmad says, we've already dropped 7 points from our first 8 games. Jordan Evans says, Robbie, I've got a question for you. If we see another team win the title that's not City or Arsenal, and Arteta wins no majors, will you still be Arteta in? Well, I'll let you know when that happens. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm not on this in and out thing, you know. I'm just on, all I want is trophies in, like what Curtis said. We judge him at the end of the season. It's what, 8 games now. So, and that's our first defeat. And we've been brilliant on the road. That's right, it's really hard. It was a terrible performance yesterday. I ain't gonna lie. It was really, really poor. I can't think, the only player I thought yesterday, 2 players that I thought they were all right was Declan Rice. I thought he played all right, and I thought Partey played all right.
Yeah.
Everybody else, man, everybody else. I was like, even someone like Raya, who's been brilliant this season.
Yeah, shocking.
He had an absolute shocker. He-Man says, hindsight is wonderful, but Jesus should have played yesterday because he really can create something from nothing. Even that dribble at the end was something. A lot of people have been cussing Jesus this season. Sell him. Why is he still here? Get rid of him. He comes on, he does a little dribble. Now he should have started. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? This is why we do overreact. That's what I think. Because last week, right, I heard people saying they don't want to see Jesus in Arsenal anymore. Now he should have started. And I'm not saying you, Lee, by the way.
Oh, but you know what? You know what? Yesterday I saw a picture before the game. I saw a picture of Lee Judges, mate, on a beach in Bournemouth eating an ice cream. 12 hours later, he was growling at the camera on Forever Arsenal.
That's what Arsenal do to you, like that.
That's it, man. That's it.
You know what, right? Wasn't that a wise decision I said yesterday, Lee, right? There's a picture like me, the three of us, have got like ice cream. We're walking down the beach, right? Lovely picture. Sun's out. I said to Lee, you know what? I ain't posting this.
Until after the game.
I ain't posting this after the game. Oh, my days. Arsenal, what they do to you, man. Rizwan says, I love Arteta, but sometimes he digs his own hole. Arteta subbed off Sterling for Kivior and then subbed off Kivior for Wanyeri. Makes no sense. And Precise Sign says, we should still be able to beat the Cherries with 10 men. When Arteta took off Sterling, it was criminal. It just shows me that he still does not trust the players. Too negative. Guys, how do we bounce back from this? How do we, because, we can be all negative. We can be all whatever we're saying. But at the end of the day, we have to dust ourselves down now. It is one game. How do we bounce back from this? I mean, I think it's actually good for Arsenal that we got that game coming up on Tuesday against Shakhtar. What sort of team? You know what? Actually, I want to know from now. What teams you guys want to see play in that game? So, Marty, let me start with you. Then you, Lee. Then you, Curtis. Then everybody out there, I want you to record this, right? Because there are people that then come afterwards with something else. But let me hear what they got to say.
Okay,
right?
so who would I
Marty,
start with? My 11. So I'd start with White.
Tuesday.
For Tuesday, White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafiori across the back. Rice and Party. I put Wanyeri or either Martinelli if he's fit out on the left. Trossard in the 10. And then if Saka's fit, you play him on the right. If he's not, then obviously you can't play him and Havertz up top. But there is potential.
So hold on. So no Wanyeri in your starting.
Look, you listen.
You were just crying out for Wanyeri to start yesterday.
No. I didn't say that.
Hold on. You were crying out for Wanyeri to start.
No, I did not say for Wanyeri to start. I said when Saliba got sent off, instead of bringing Kiwior on, I would have subbed Marino for Wanyeri. That's what I would have done situation.
I'm sure earlier on in the show, you said we're playing with 3 defensive midfielders.
Yeah, I did say
like Wanyeri, but you're not playing Wanyeri now.
No, I did say put Trossard in the middle, and you could put. I said you could play Wanyeri across the, those positions, whether it's on the left, whether it's on the right, because I believe he is that versatile. But yeah, that's how I'd set up top with Trossard either in the middle or Wanyeri, either or in that position. Give him his chance in Champions League football. Go for it. See what the boy can do.
Okay, let's get Lee's. I saw him writing something down there.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, I'm not playing in this game. Saliba, not playing in this game. I'm playing I'm playing the centre halves that are going to play against Liverpool. I want the back four.
Right, so to sort of get them so that they can bed in,
get a game under their belt, get the partnership right, and make sure that that's all right. So now I don't know if Timber's going to be fit. My back four for the Liverpool game was going to be, if Saliba was available, would have been Saliba, Gabriel. I would have put Timber on the left back role, and I would have played Ben White. So I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to go with Ben White. I'm going to go Ben White if he's fit, and this is the trouble. If he's fit, Timber, Gabriel, Calafiori. If he's not fit, there is a thing we've just been discussing this. Maybe to put Declan Rice into that right, into the central defence, because I'm telling you this now. What? I've got a feeling. No, I've got a feeling. If Timber's not fit, right? I've got a feeling, because you think about it. I think he might play Thomas Partey at right back. I'm not happy with that. But that's another thing, like, you know what I mean? I'm praying that
Declan Rice a centre back.
There's an option. I'm not saying I would do it. It's an option. What happens if Timber's not fit?
Well, you could play. Kivior's played as a centre back, hasn't he?
Would you?
Or you just stick with Saliba. You want to win the game, don't you?
No, well, you've still got the conundrum against Liverpool, which is for me a much bigger game. So I'm not playing Saliba. I'm going Timber's fit, so that will be what it be like. You know, that'll be my back. So
give me that back four again. That's
my back four will be
White,
Timber, Gabriel, Calafiori.
Okay.
Right. Midfield will be Declan Rice and Rice. Sorry, Declan Rice and Partey and Wanyeri in the middle of the park. I want to see what he can do.
Front three.
Front three, Havertz, Trossard, Jesus. No, I think it's fair. I think he's got to give Sterling another go.
Okay. Curtis.
You worked hard to pick that team, didn't you, right? I don't even know what team you just picked, by the way.
No. I don't know about you, but my mind, I'm going to be really honest about this, is more on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm more on Sunday than Tuesday. Tuesday is a scratching my bum. This game, really, like. You know what I mean? I don't want it now.
We don't want to overlook this game.
They'll clip you up, you know, if we don't win on Tuesday. But hey,
we'll overlook this game.
Yeah, man.
I'm not overlooking it, but you know what I mean. I'm use this game for Liverpool.
Yeah, the thing is, you'd say Shakhtar might be better than Bournemouth, so we can't look.
Yeah, but we're at home. We're at home.
Yeah. I mean, I'd play Raya in goal if he's recovered from his hangover, because he played like he was steaming. I was calling him Raya and nephews. Man, looked like he drank rum and coke all night.
Raya and nephews.
You know what I saw from David Raya all game? He kicked the ball out of play and then just waved at everyone. Oh, sorry, lads, I kicked it out again. Do you see that?
Give his shirt away. Give his shirt away, you know.
Yeah, I know how to throw it back at him. Brother, keep that shirt.
He did, and he dropped it. I don't know if that was anything.
Yeah, so I play Raya. I play Ben White. I would play Saliba because I think you've just got to win the game and keep it moving. So I would still play Saliba, Gabriel. I'd play Timber left back if he's fit, but if not, Calafiori. Go Rice, Partey, and give Wanyeri a game, man. Throw him in there.
About to say Marino.
You know, Marino, brother. You see how Rob?
He was about to say Marino.
You was running up them Philadelphia steps quicker than Marino, mate. I thought he was going to get stretchered off yesterday. Jesus. And then I'll go. If Saka's fit, I'll play Saka. If not Saka, I'll play Sterling again on the right. I know the fans aren't really too happy with him, but 35 minutes, give him a home game, Champions League. I'll play Martinelli on the left and Havertz up top.
Remember when the fans weren't too happy with him? Havertz. Yeah. Right. I'll go.
Go on in,
I'll go. So Raya in goal. Ben White. I kind of in a slight agreement with Lee, where I want to see maybe the centre back pairing play a game ahead of that game against Liverpool. That's going to be really tough. So I'm going to go with Gabriel and Calafiori as my two centre backs, and then at left back.
Zinchenko's back.
All right, I was about to say, right, this is going to sound a bit controversial, but I might go Zinchenko just for the fact that we're playing Shakhtar, another Ukrainian team. Maybe I don't know. It depends. I don't know. I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with Zinchenko. Then I'm gonna go with a midfield of Partey, Rice, and let me start Wanyeri. Let's give Wanyeri a start, right? So start Wanyeri because I want to see what he does from the start of a game. I'd have Sterling, Havertz, and Martinelli because I think it's always good to kind of leave somebody back on the bench in reserve, and I think that player is kind of like Jesus because he can come on and cover any of those sort of forward positions. So that would be mine.
Curtis, just a quick question. Would you risk Timber against Shakhtar? We're considering that we've got Liverpool coming up. I do know he's slightly injury prone.
No, because my worry with that Liverpool game is, Salah and Diaz. Well, I think they played Gakpo today, but they're very strong in wide areas, man. I think you need Timber. You need Timber against Liverpool.
Yeah, so, I'd keep him back for that because you want him fresh for that game, innit? And Saka. Yeah. I wouldn't play Saka on Tuesday. Yeah. I'll be keeping him back for that as well. Yeah. Let me do a couple more of these super chats. It's Ahmad there again. He says, is Liverpool a must-win next week? Is it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. 100%. If they beat us, they're 7 points clear of us.
That's right, yeah.
We got to beat them.
Okay. Ammar Nail says, we drop points only when we get red cards. I see that as a positive because it's not indicative of the players' behavior, but more the referee's inconsistencies. Not yesterday. I think yesterday we have to put that one down. I think we have to hold out for Saliba.
Yeah, I do.
I think we have to hold out for Saliba. Rizwan says, would you take 50 to 60 million for Martinelli in June? Ooh.
No.
Nobody wants to answer that one. That's a tough one.
80 million. It's done deal.
Yeah, I'd say it's not enough money. It needs to be higher. But
what would you? I like Martinelli though.
He's got to have a good.
You did yesterday when he didn't stick it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
No, listen. I think he's got to bury it, but that's not. Listen, he's been excellent in the last few games, and he's coming back off an injury and stuff like that. So, but he has to bury that. That's just the thing, you know what I mean? So he has to bury that. He has to bury that, in my opinion. Now I'm being told there's a clip to play. Let me see if I can get this clip out. Ryan, and Ryan always causes trouble. So he's asked me to play this clip. Let me see if I can play it a second here.
And if the two wide players are out and he wants to go Trossard, I get that. Then bring in Nwaneri or play Declan Rice and Mourinho and Thomas Partey. Play that free. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't going to be as creative, but we're going to have a lot of the ball. So I wouldn't be averse to playing like Thomas Partey holding and then two players box to box instead of going with the sort of creative midfielder in there, And if before I said that, what did I say?
Oh no, Lee!
Get that on here because I'm talking I am talking about what Arteta was doing. I'm saying
Ryan.
I said Mourinho. I said Nwaneri to play was my first choice in there. Ryan, you're sacked. Right?
Lee.
Listen, I'll stick in with what I say. Listen, I said yesterday that ain't the thing, but my preference was to play Nwaneri or Jesus, and that's what I said in that clip.
Right, you're evil, man.
You're moving like them Havanas in your suitcase, brother. I'm telling you.
Listen, I did say this yesterday as well, and I'm not going to back down from it. We should still win that game with those three in there, but we didn't. But I clearly stated before that I'd play Nwaneri. That is what I was planning on doing. Or, well, Trossard. And was only saying that if they weren't fit, by the way, which he hasn't put that in there. But they were fit because he put Trossard out wide. And I'll tell you what, Ryan, I'm 100% not coming on the watch along tomorrow for the 100% not.
Precise Size says the fact that you guys are fighting so hard to pick a side shows that our bench is not strong as you all think. Let's see. WMIW says we don't learn from our mistakes year in, year out. We've got to learn from the mistakes where it's coming down to losing players. We've got to address that, man. We've got to address that. But guys, listen, we've come to the end of the stream today. I really want to thank you all for coming on. Marty made his debut today, so big up to you, Marty. You were brilliant.
And I didn't get subbed off either.
No, chuck off Cecil, you know what I mean? No problem, man. Well, thanks very much for coming on, Marty.
No, I appreciate it.
It's
Thank you
always
so
a
much for
pleasure,
having
mate.
me.
Always a pleasure, mate. You know, give me a shout about the TikTok thing, man. I'll see if I can help you out on that. Because
I told you, any trouble I get in, bro, I'm ringing you, defense lawyer, man. You know, you're amazing.
Right, you're gonna come off with them jokes. It bits off, then. You know, what I mean, go sort out yourself. You know what I mean? But no, you probably went on with some madness there, which got you like some shirt ripped up or something, which got you.
No shirts. But I may have said one or two things that, you know, a little bit heated.
One or two. I'm pretty sure there's more than one or two.
He does get very emotional, don't he? He does get very emotional. They see
that's what 20 years does to you, you know. Thierry lured us all in.
I hear that. Lee, thank you very much as well, man.
No, you pissed off a lot of you, like that. I mean, really, like that.
Well, you wait until I show everybody that clip of the crossbar challenge. I mean, I'm still.
Listen, let's go. I'll tell you what, that was one thing I was very surprised about, how wet the pitch was. I'm not making excuses, but
oh my days,
it was raining.
No, mate, I couldn't believe how wet the pitch was. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, you're in trainers, you're a bit wary of the slip. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to. But
Lee, judges. He slipped on his.
Yeah, imagine I was going to get that. Like, but I was very surprised. I don't know if they've done that deliberately but I don't know. It normally makes it slicker, doesn't it? Like, you know what I mean? I was very surprised how wet the pitch was. Like, you know what I mean?
But anyway, Lee, thank you very much.
Making that excuses, it weren't a great effort.
Thank you very much, Lee. Thank you, Ryan, as well. He's been in there with the back end and moderating as well. And thank you, Cecil, as well, who came on earlier as well. And thank you to you guys as well. All your contributions have been absolutely brilliant, including those ones slagging me off, telling me that, you know what I mean, I'm on the payroll of the club now just because I'm bad. I can guarantee you I'm not. But I do need, you know, if they want to send me some wages and that, I'll take it, bro. You know what I mean? But we look forward to the game on Tuesday night. Arsenal taking on Shakhtar, I think, is coming very good for us so that we can at least get a game, hopefully go out and win that game, and then get ready for the big one at the weekend. The game is huge now. Arsenal versus Liverpool on Sunday. That game is massive. Thank you once again, guys, and thank you to you guys out there. And we'll see you again very soon. Don't forget tomorrow, we've got the Buyers Premier League show. I'll tell you, by the way I saw Ty, I saw him at the game. The way he was losing it yesterday is going to be very, very interesting. Live at 6 p.m. UK time tomorrow, so make sure you check it out. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.